All right, we're live. How's it going, guys? OJ, I'm gonna make some coffee, brother. Tell me what's going on.
All right, enjoy your coffee. So, this picture right here, that's Danny Carey in a cozy little pub there. And this is taken by Link Johnson, his channel partner. Really cool dude. Got his own channel, got his own business. So we are going to be reacting to... We are going to be reacting to an interview with Mr. Carey, done by Rick Beato. Beato recently interviewed Maynard also. This was a few months ago. Rick's got a great mind for music. Really smart dude. I enjoy his content. And Danny's an interesting brain to pick, without a doubt. So, I think we're going to learn more about Tool's writing process, possibly some of Danny's influence, and
a really crazy secret about Jeff Buckley.
Jeff Buckley, of all people. Yeah, craziness. Yeah. So this is going to be, I'm interested. Danny seems like a cool dude.
Link asked him who built the pyramids.
Link did. What did he say?
I don't remember what he said, Danny said, but he took the pictures. He was that far away from all night.
Yeah.
And I never figured out why the hell they would have another drummer when you got Danny Carey there in a bar.
That really seems
that small place. Oh, I got the logo on your face. Hold on.
Wait, I can hide behind it. Sweet. All right, now no one can see me. Can't see me.
I could put a duck over your face. Or a Link. I can put Link on your face. Now you're Link.
Link's way cooler than I am. But yeah, having another drummer with Danny Carey there does seem to be like...
Who's the guy on the bottom right?
That looks like...
The little preview looking one.
That looks like Mike Patton, the bottom right.
I know everybody else. Trent Reznor's above him.
Yeah, that looks like Mike Patton from Faith No More.
Cornell, Corrigan, dang it, Reggie Machine, Zach Del Rocha,
yeah,
Cobain, Lane, Maynard, Eddie, and that's Sergio, ain't it?
Sergio.
Oh, yeah, not Sergio, sorry.
Close enough.
So long. I can tool stuff now. This is what OGL has to shut me up when I start tooling out. Danny, quit. Actually, I had to do it to him. A couple reactions ago.
That is proof that we've been doing it.
On me, man. 30-second rule. Here we go. Here we go. Look one, look two. I about died after that, but that was funny.
That laugh at the end will never not make me laugh, but that is dedication to your craft, people. We fell asleep while working.
I was just playing guitar, but I wasn't working.
I
had work to do. I had work to do, no doubt. But hell, I done a whole reaction last night, and my damn mic wasn't on, so the music's fine, man. There was no copyrights on it, nothing. But Sam Morosi, one of my favorite people. And yeah, I had no volume. It was probably a great reaction. All right.
Hey everybody, I'm Rick Beato. In today's episode, I interviewed Danny Carey, drummer behind the legendary rock band Tool. Known for his complex time signatures, polyrhythms, and extraordinary technique, Danny has been a pivotal force in shaping Tool's sound and pushing the boundaries of modern drumming. I went out to LA for the interview, and I got to go in the secret Tool rehearsal space to do it. Danny's a great guy. I think you'll really enjoy this. Here's my interview.
I normally say welcome, but I'm here in your studio in the Tool.
Welcome. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So this is the Tool rehearsal space, but this actually started as your place that you lived.
Yeah. When you first moved to LA as a drummer, the battle is just finding a place where you can play your instrument. So I lived in a couple of garage guest housey apartments and things, and then I stumbled on this with a buddy of mine who was a photographer, rented a place down the street, and the landlord told him about it, and it was just a barren.
Mike's off there, brother.
Man, I'm sorry. I'm saying that little space there is where they released all those
Yeah. When you
footages
first
of them
moved to
playing.
Tool song has been written in this place.
it out, like a semi-studio, but lots of toys, and I built the wall.
Your place that you lived.
Yeah. When you first moved to LA as a drummer, the battle is just finding a place where you can play your instrument. So I lived in a couple of garage guest housey apartments and things, and then
That's what I'm talking about. That's where Adam Jones puts his cell phone on there. There's like 3 songs: The Patient, Parabola, or Parabola. You don't remember?
I do not, but I'm going to say this.
Wow.
One thing that I like about the studio is Tool's done pretty well. Danny had a career as a session musician, but so he's got some money. But I like how homespun the studio looks. Like, it doesn't look like a glitzy, polished, professional studio. It's obviously got some great gear in it, but there's something kind of very homey and old school, and almost antique about it, which I think is awesome.
Well, he just told Rick that like it wasn't a professional studio. Like it didn't have good enough equipment for you to really record an album.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he did say every tool there ever has been written here. And there are a lot of people might come at me on this, but watch some of Maynard's newer interviews. The one with Beato, as a matter of fact, he does say that in OB and Undertow, everybody done some writing. Like some of them wrote some of the lyrics in the songs. I know we thought all of our life as OGTs that Maynard wrote every lyric that's ever been. But he did say this. He told them, he said, guys, y'all can write music decent. He said, guys, I can also play instruments decent. But y'all are light years ahead of me on the instruments. He said, so you're catching my drift. Let me do the writing and y'all do the playing.
That's cool. They settled into the roles that they were best at. That's very cool.
Maynard's very good at not only portraying words in a song to make you understand what he's talking about, he also is very good at pointing out ways to make you understand what he means just in general conversation or in a debate or in a constructive criticism in bands. And we know that has turned in bands are like relationships. Very rarely does one last till the end,
And those breakups can be pretty sloppy sometimes.
And Maynard has cheated on him, twice, obviously. And he's got live-in bands with him. They've done other things too. Justin Chancellor has done several things with them. With that Eric, man, so good. He played drums so fast. It's like the psychedelic thing is where it says it might cause seizures with just Justin and the drummer. One's flipping all that shit around and I watch this shit way more than you do. I'm sorry. I wish I could remember his name.
Stumbled on this with a buddy of mine who was a photographer, rented a place down the street, and the landlord told him about it, and it was just a barren shell pretty much when I moved in here. And now we've decked it out like a semi-studio, but lots of toys, and I built the loft, built the bathroom, put in the cabinets, all that stuff.
So every Tool song has been written in this place.
Every Tool song, the band actually got put together here because I had the space. I had my drums set up, and actually when Maynard moved in next door,
Like literally next door.
yeah, upstairs in the loft there, him and Adam were kind of trying to get something going, And I had a little PA in the room, so I said, oh, I'll rent you space to do it. And every time they rented the space, whoever they asked to drum for them would flake out because they didn't want to move their crap or something. I just go, well, okay, well, I'll jam with you guys,
Wait,
and that's how the band got put
Oh
together.
my God.
Yeah, it was like I was playing with Jeff Buckley and Carole King and doing like a TV show, and I know lots of stuff with John Humphrey, who taught over at the MI place, and then so I when I played with Adam and Maynard, it was pretty weird, heavy stuff and like odd time signatures and all this stuff, and I thought, this is really cool, man. I'm going to do this for myself, but no, I'm never going to make any money doing it, but I really love doing that, and so I kept playing with those guys, even though I figured one of these other things would be how I made my living, Yeah,
Okay, so what year would this have been that you moved in here?
89, probably.
And
yeah.
you went to MI, is that right?
No, I didn't, but I was a delivery man at an audio-visual place, and John Humphrey, who was teaching there certain hours or something, man, he was a delivery man with me, and then he's a great bassist, and he got a couple of good gigs, I think playing with Cher, and then Carole King or whatever. And then when he got the Carole King gig, he quit our delivery job or whatever. And Jerry Angel he was the drummer, I think, at that time. This guy, good player from Australia. He got the gig with the Divinyls, I think, or something. So they needed a drummer to play on some stuff. So he asked me to do it, and Carole liked what I did. So
Microphone.
Music. I'm just gonna leave it on. This ain't music. Shout out to the Aussies. Even Danny Carey found talent in Australia. So,
God, I remember the Divinyls. They were all over MTV for a while there.
and the drummer from Autograph is one of the ones he's talking about. That what is that song they sing, Greg?
Rock on
Autograph
the Radio,
from-
I think. Rock on the Radio,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, turn up the radio.
Turning up the radio, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And literally, they just formed that way. He's right. I guess he would be.
I do like the fact, number one, I love how Danny dwarfs Rick, even when they're sitting down. I always comment on how enormous Danny is. But what's really impressive is, like, Danny's not a young man. He's 60. He's a gigantic dude. Yet
62.
can still move so quickly when he's playing drums. Of course, some of y'all might know, Danny and I saw Tool earlier this year. And, yeah, Danny is just absolutely amazing to see live.
We were in the nosebleeds, and, we were still about almost eye level with Danny.
Yeah, even from
Now,
that night.
it is funny that, even back in 1992, Kurt Cobain was complaining about Tool stealing his idea from King Crimson to do a stop-motion video. And still to this day, Danny is still wearing King Crimson gear. I tried to tell them back then, the imbecilic Nirvana fans who thought that Adam Jones, who worked at Universal Studios, needed to steal someone's idea to make a puppet. And they
Very
didn't
well put.
slapped in the wrist for it, Kurt Cobain. Slap him in the wrist,
Kurt was never the brightest, let's be honest.
Brains wasn't his. Never mind.
So a lot of places we could go with that would make us laugh, but might get us demonetized. So
I will say Kurt lived in the moment. He was the epitome of Nirvana, and what Nirvana meant. He would tear his vocal cords out and give it everything he had, every performance he stepped on stage. All 2 years of them.
a couple of good gigs, I think playing with Cher, and then Carole King or whatever. And then when he got the Carole King gig, he quit our delivery job or whatever. And Jerry Angel he was the drummer, I think, at that time. This guy, good player from Australia. He got the gig with the Divinyls, I think, or something. So they needed a drummer to play on some stuff. So he asked me to do it, and Carole liked what I did, so I got to play a few gigs with her. I tracked like some songs on one record, I think, and then we did like a few kind of corporate gigs and stuff. We never actually went on a big tour, but it was really an honor, man. I mean, God, every song is like a number one.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm playing this. That was the first time I got to call home and tell my mom, I got a gig playing with Carol. My mom didn't even know who it was, and I had to sing like, it's too late, baby. Now. I feel the
They're
earth
back
move. And she's like,
now.
oh, I know those. So that was a good feeling.
Okay, Jeff Buckley then?
He
What were you guys doing?
he was studying there.
He
and
went to
so,
MI.
Yeah, him and John were going to do some kind of a project. So we kind of put a country band together, and we did gigs. It was
Right.
called the Wild Blue Yonder, and we played around bars in town here
What a
and stuff.
name.
You know, Jeff was amazing. Feel so lucky to have gotten to play with him.
Wow. Are there any recordings of that?
Yeah, there's some stuff. I mean, nothing from a real studio, but we have like DAT tapes and stuff from in here when we used to
my
play. I mean,
God.
John probably has some kind of video thing, camera things from the gigs or something like that. I don't, nothing too high quality. But it was great. After we would rehearse, sometimes John would take off, and Jeff and I would just hang out and play Zeppelin tunes together. He knew every song, and I think he had a photographical music memory. Man, he was incredible. I mean, just every lead, everything. He was really gifted. You know, it was a good time.
So those guys move in, you start playing, you start thinking, okay, this is.
I didn't really think it would be something commercial, but we all loved it and we believed in it.
So Danny Carey had a country band with Jeff Buckley.
That's a crazy
Yeah.
thought.
I've heard so many times, all it was Danny played in those, sitcom type bands, like house bands. No one's ever said nothing about that. So, there you go on how far Zeppelin's influence goes. They were into country music and heard Zeppelin, and now there is a Jeff Buckley and there is a Danny Carey. So
Somewhere in an alternate universe, Maynard James Keenan is doing stand-up comedy. Bill Hicks
and
is
Bill
a rock
Hicks is a
star.
rock star.
And the band Wild Blue Yonder with Danny Carey on drums is tearing up the country charts. Wouldn't mind visiting that. That would be a crazy reality.
And Oliver Anthony sings deathcore.
That's, lo and behold, that's what really translated when we did play our first gig. It kicked people's asses, and then we only played 6 gigs, I think, and then we got signed. Because every gig we...
Okay, everyone, did y'all hear that correctly? They played 6 times as a completely rookie band that weren't even planning on being a band and got signed. 6 times.
It's very impressive, no doubt.
I just want to make sure I heard it right.
We didn't say
played,
60.
every person
16,
would just come
6.
back and bring all their friends to the next one. And we were, by 4 or 5 gigs, we were packing out the little clubs like the Lingerie, Coconut Teaser, Al's Bar, Raji's, all the old places around Hollywood, And, so it was cool. It caught fire really quickly, And everybody was looking for the next Nirvana, so the timing was right,
You got signed, what, 92 then, right?
We got signed in
89.
90, 91.
90, 91?
Yeah. Yeah, because the first time we played might have been the end of 89, so it was probably 90 when we got signed. We hadn't done very many shows, that's for sure. Yeah.
What is your process for when you come up with a drum part, or how do Tool songs actually happen?
In the old days, like 89, 90, or whatever, when we would write the song, we were just all in the room together, just jamming out, and they would come together really quickly. And as the songs became more complicated or writing got more ambitious, I guess, Maynard would end up feel like kind of wasting his time in a way, because we're arguing over stupid little phrases like dup dup da dup dup or dup dup da dup da dup, or and he's just twiddling his thumbs waiting for us to figure it out. So he didn't need to be there when we were going through all that. So now it's just me, and at that time it was Paul Damore and Adam. We just would hash the stuff out for the most part, and then he would come in when it was pretty much there, And as we get it more and more arranged as time has gone on before we lay it on him, because it's such a big commitment the way we write. It's all kind of piecemealing jams together, and a lot of it's the jamming part. Then we record every day and then take it home and find the jewels that have happened along the way of the jam, and then go, okay, there's the good one. Let's fit this with this, and then come in the next day and kind of the building blocks, start putting these songs together, and that's kind of how we compose every tune. It's painstaking, you know, but the end result is we're all completely committed to our parts, and we all have, you know, belief in what we're playing, you know, because it's been through the filter, you know, so it's good in that way. Then once we get there, though, then we lay it on Maynard, and we'll make adjustments, of course, if he wants to dig in and sing another verse or extend the things. And I mean, we're flexible, but
Are you surprised?
But for all you 373 people I can think of off the top of my head that told me that there is no way he does that, there has to be some kind of, Maynard does not just come in at the end when the music's completely done and don't give him any kind of idea about what it's about or anything. Yes, he does. He'll come back when the song's completely finished, pretty much in their eyes, and they can adjust it a little if need be. But there is no ideas at all about what the albums or these songs are going to be. There is even no, it's all about what feelings it invokes inside Maynard when he lies down on his little smart car and truck with it on loop, which is kind of cool because that's kind of what they do. They all take their session for the day home and listen to it and find the jewels in it and splice it all together, which makes sense because that's exactly what Tool songs do. And that's why the transitions are so much smoother than, say, Rush or something. Not putting them down, but, you know, I think there was someone bragging to me the other day that, and you know it only took them, like, it was a Zeppelin album. One of the Zeppelin albums only took them, like, I don't know if it was a month or a week. Or
31 days to record.
Okay, yeah, so, and that's cool. And maybe that says, you know, that they're much better. I don't know. I'm just saying that that there are bands that write music fairly quickly, and it gets rather repetitive in the processes they use, and you start to hear that. Or they throw in a lot of unnecessary switching and time signature differences that just doesn't feel organic. It doesn't feel. Rush is a good example of that. I like Rush, but it's like sometimes there's just parts of this. I didn't groove with that into the next. It just like seemed like it shouldn't have been there. Does that make sense?
A lot of bands that would fit into what is called prog. Rush, Dream Theater is guilty of this sometimes, although I like their work. Yeah, it's just complexity for complexity's sake. I always thought it was interesting that, you know, you think, I guess maybe when I first thought how like songs were written, I just figured, okay, they just like, they have an idea for a song and they kind of hash it out and boom. But like there's a lot of jamming. There's a lot of jamming at home. There's a lot of just recording stuff that you play in the studio when you're together. There's a lot of recording stuff that you play just when you're noodling around at home. And then it's just listening to that stuff and picking out something that once you're sort of detached from it, something that sort of makes your ear or your brain perk up. And then it's a matter of trying to piece them together. So yeah, it's a very painstaking process. I think more so than a lot of people think. So, you know, props to bands that can actually, you know, make that work. And I do also want to appreciate the fact that Tool realized like their original setup wasn't working, so they made an adjustment. Whereas a lot of bands, I think, will just keep banging on that process because they think that that's the way it has to be done. And I think that's what causes those breakups because they get sick of each other. They end up getting combative. So, yeah, I mean, this credit to them for noticing something wasn't working and making an adjustment.
Well, you've never had to have a singer be patient. There's nothing to compare it to because there's never been a band that maybe a song or something here or there that the singer has no concept or the band of what this album is going to be about, what we're going to sing about. Nothing. Complete blank slate. I don't mean blank slate. We're going to go in and figure out some concepts and start writing some lyrics to it. I mean, they write the entire song without having any idea what it's going to be about. I mean, I've said it from the beginning. Prove me wrong. Anyone. No other band has ever done this. Never. This has not ever been done. And they've been doing it for 33 years almost. Now, I'm not saying it's better, but I've had so many people argue the fact that, yeah, man, other bands do it. There can't be a band that does something that no other band's ever done. Rick Beato's blown the fuck away right there, man, and he's like the Elizabeth Sharoff. I mean, she's blown away by Tool. I mean, so okay, I know. Hold on.
Well, is that really fair? This is an album. This is an interview with Tool's drummer, so to feel like a bit of
I
cooling
still
out is
feel like
mandatory.
I still feel like it, but I mean, this is validation, man. That's been a long time coming,
Sometimes with the things that he comes up with.
Oh, every time. It
Right.
takes
Oh, yeah.
it to another level.
Hey,
Amazing.
So you-
oh shit.
And he
Sorry.
just would hash the stuff out for the most part, and then he would come in when it was pretty much there, And as we get it more and more arranged as time has gone on before we lay it on him, because it's such a big commitment the way we write. It's all kind of piecemealing jams together, and a lot of it's the jamming part, and then we record every day and then take it home and find the jewels that have happened along the way of the jam, and then go, okay, there's the good one, let's fit this with this, and then come in the next day and kind of the building blocks, start putting these songs together, and that's kind of how we compose every tune. It's painstaking, but the end result is we're all completely committed to our parts, and we all have belief in what we're playing, because it's been through the filter, so it's good in that way. Then once we get there, though, then we lay it on Maynard, and we'll make adjustments, of course, if he wants to dig in and sing another verse or extend the things. And I mean, we're flexible, but
Are you surprised sometimes with the things that he comes up with?
oh, every time it
Right?
takes it to another level. He's incredible. I mean, we're proud of it when we
Yeah.
lay it on him, and then it's just like, oh my God, it just goes to a whole nother level.
I think,
Every
like, how does
time.
he think of these things
Every
over these
time.
parts?
Yeah, it's amazing.
So you
I could
guys
never
even
do it.
think that,
That's
right?
his gift. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, it makes my hair stand on end thinking about it. So
Mine is
it's
too right
special.
now.
Yeah.
So when I got here, I heard your drums being checked through here, and it sounds great.
Yeah, Tim's got it pretty dialed in.
You got really dialed in. So when you guys are actually jamming, you really have a great idea as to what the stuff.
I have caught a lot of crap before. A lot of my life about just trying to say, man, nobody else writes music like this. Not just the process, the way Maynard articulates things. And I've caught a lot of crap for that as well. So it's rare to find not only a band that the musical compositions are completely different. The music itself stands the test of time and is different and never gives you the same feeling twice, really. And the band themselves think that the man is basically superhuman at writing lyrics. And I think it's why he's so much, with the band Tool in particularly, harps all the time. Look, I'm not part of the band really, other than I'm a poet who sings for the band. I don't make this music. I react to it and I write what I feel from what they have created. It's all art. It's not ego, as he says. It's not us trying to think, okay, we're going to make this cool ass heavy album, or we're going to make this slow album. No, we're going to make something that will make people feel something, because Maynard's going to come up with lyrics that's going to explain that, and it's going to morph into something organic that can relate to whatever it is you need. There's this old saying that you don't find Tool, Tool finds you. And Tool weeds out those who are unwilling or undeserving of the knowledge that can be gained through your interpretation only, because no one will ever tell you what to think or how to feel.
Stuff sounds.
Yeah, we can tell if it's going to translate or not, I think. So it's good because you know you're not spinning your wheels on something. You know, when you get good sources and good sounds together, you know you can believe in it.
Were a lot of the things done in one pass with everyone playing?
We go to a big room to capture the drums. We don't actually track here.
Yeah.
It's more just for the writing process. So we'll go into a place like Ocean Way or O. Henry. I did tracks there. You know, some place that has $1 million worth of microphones and a big, beautiful room. Like we did Henson last time. It was awesome, you know. And then our goal is just to capture the drum tracks, and we all play together.
Yeah,
We'll agree on a tempo, and we'll start a click track just in our heads, and then as soon as I count it off, that goes off, and then we're just playing, and then we'll do however many takes it takes for me to be happy with my thing, and then we will do edits, you know, like this chorus might be better with this one. It's funny, but we usually play the song beginning to end though, and inherently, man, it'll be a couple of BPM off from this excitement, or you know, however you're feeling that day, what you had to eat, you know, it could be anything, and so a lot of time it wouldn't match very good, so you try to get one take all the way through.
So you're playing without a click.
Yeah, I've never tracked a Tool song to a click. You know, so yeah,
I
it's kinda
wondered,
good.
like you couldn't. I mean, I can't even imagine how you would do that.
Yeah, it's funny. You know, it's just. I think a lot of it is because a lot of them are such weird time signatures. It'd be hard to program a click to it or something. You know, if it modulates metrically or something.
In other words, the best equipment on earth to tell you how to keep a beat cannot figure out what Tool's doing. That's basically what he's saying. Or am I misunderstanding what he's saying? Because I'm not that familiar with what the click thing is, but I think it's like a tuner, but not being able to figure out how the musician's tuning it better.
It sets a beat, but like a click track is good when you're doing like a steady, consistent beat throughout. So doing something like Tool's doing,
13-minute songs.
That's going to throw the clicker off. Plus, like when you've got someone like Danny Carey, like I've always said, you don't need a click. He is one. You know, he just has a very good internal sense of rhythm. So
right, but what I'm saying is like if somebody makes a 3.5-minute song and it gets off, then they got to go back and fix that or whatever. Wouldn't it even get harder and harder the longer the song?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And also because especially when you have to like change up that beat and whatnot. So and also I think of even Elizabeth talked about this in the thing where like just too much use of that, especially in popular music, like pop and stuff like that. It takes the spontaneity and the organic nature away from it. Because like there was a Zeppelin breakdown that we were hearing, and like you could hear Bonham's drums like sort of slightly slow down and slightly speed up, just very organically. I don't even know if he meant to do it. It was just the way he was playing at the time. Like you couldn't do that with a click.
And I've heard a lot of people say that Zeppelin is sloppy and that Jimmy Page plays sloppy and John Bonham, because of he drinks all the time, that he couldn't play his own songs right or whatever. First of all, if they're your songs, there is no wrong way to play it. And seems to me like, there isn't anyone in the industry itself, not the loud ass yapping fans, in the industry who don't, respect. What the hell is we talking about? I mean,
Click tracks.
No, the Zeppelin. There isn't anyone in the music industry that doesn't respect Zeppelin.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to say. Like, I mean.
Yeah, and Zeppelin's influence is probably felt in more genres than any rock band I can think of. Like I said,
that's another thing. I don't think there's very many people in the actual music industry that care so much about genre.
Yeah.
And these 50 million different subgenres. I mean, I think it probably confuses the musicians just as much as it
I
does
think,
us.
Yeah, I think what's funny is that the people say that Zeppelin is floppy, and Bonham can't play this or play that. Yet, how many times does Led Zeppelin have hip hop tracks sampled Led Zeppelin for the use
I
of a
think
strong
more
rhythm?
than any other band,
Yep. So,
more than any other rock band.
mhm.
I will point out two more things about Tool that are unlike any band I know of. The bass plays the lead more than half the time, or at least half time. It's full of the best in the world. That Dennis dude that listens to a song without the drums, and then he will play what he thinks they would have put in there, and he's like super close to accurate all the time. But at the end of the day, he's like, I don't know, guys. He's like, is there a bass in this song? I cannot catch the bass. And we're talking about schisms. The dun 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 is the bass. So for him not to catch the loudest thing in the song says a lot in itself. And Maynard's lyrics very rarely rhyme or have any structure whatsoever. And everyone that reacts to it has a hard time moving. Like, they can't figure out, they want to, but they can't figure out how. So, not only does Tool's music full click tracks, it almost fools human memory of what rhythm is and how to move. So, take it as you will. It seems like they're the most enigmatic, different band there ever has been. Whether that means they're the best or not, or the most likable, is two different things. But the one thing I've tried to at least get people to, there's never been a Tool, ever. Even there's never been a Tool. They may have influenced of many other bands, and they may influence many bands in the future.
But I think it's okay if things going to speed up and slow down a little bit. I breeze a little. Most of the stuff I grew up listening to, like all that old prog stuff, you hear it now.
Yeah.
It's funny how
go.
sensitive
You
you
said
become to tempo changes after being inundated with click perfection over all these last
Talk about
years.
that. How do you feel about that?
It kind of takes some magic out of it, I think,
You
but
just said that.
I hope that other people don't just hear it as wrong. I think you can kind of feel like that, probably as young kids, as they're so conditioned to everything being perfect. It might be hard for them to listen to classical music or stuff that breathes. It's another world, that's for sure.
I'd like to take a second to talk to you about this channel. Believe it or not, 57% of the people that watch here regularly are not subscribed. So
I do suggest subscribing to Rick Beato. He is amazing. Just recently, he's had the people from Faith No More. He's had Joe Bonamassa. I mean, he just had him on there last week. Great episode with Joe Bonamassa. Wow, he's so good. I learned how to do. What did you just do? He's so good. And
Rick has people from all walks of music. He has guitarists, he has singers, people from every era, and Rick is just a very, very smart guy musically, both to the industry and to music in and of itself. So I second Danny's recommendation to checking his channel out. Also, if you liked this interview with Danny and you haven't, definitely check out his interview with Maynard, because that's also very fascinating.
We should probably just stop it here and do this in parts. This is a 54-minute video, so
yeah, and we're at 39 minutes right now.
This would be a good place to stop it, guys. So
yeah.
Let me come back there.
So before we leave,
hold on, what is the time? Well, never mind, I got it recorded.
Yeah.
Hey, 3 and 2, 3 ones, 11, 31. That's just 1 and 1 or 1.
11.
And the Holy Trinity or whatever. Let's go.
Yeah, so I guess stay tuned for part 2. And until
Probably
then.
be out of 3. Oh, yep. Yeah, you told him that was Danny Carey.
Yep. And until then, just remember, Rick Beato knows his shit. Danny Carey is the greatest drummer working today, and there has never been a Tool. 3 points to take away from this.
But there have been just as great vocalists. There have been just as great a bassist. There have been John Bonham was just as great a drummer, and there are many better guitar players than Adam Jones. So, but to put them all together and how they make it happen.
I appreciate Adam's unique voice on the instrument, though, no doubt.
I say he's the king of distortion. He's the king of controlling his distortion, where it's almost glitching to clean to. I've seen people like switch tunings and play with their distortion faster than Adam. Adam don't do nothing fast. He just nonchalantly walks on stage like he's
I guess that's one of the things that sort of makes Tool is that each member does have a very unique voice on their instrument, and thus their unique voice, their collective voices, becomes also very unique.
And in 30-some years, almost 33, that they have one of the most, arguably the most, but one of the most loyal fan bases ever. And hardly anyone knows what their wives look like, or who their friends are, or where they live, or what their kids' names are, or so.
Because they're not
That in
interested in being rock
itself
stars.
is, I guess you're not a rock star like that. I mean, you do have your private life.
Yeah. They're not interested in being rock stars. They're interested in making music, and they do that very well.
Well, I think he'll tell you here in a little bit. He should. Adam said after that, when they did first get signed, because it hadn't been like 5 shows, that they just looked at each other and laughed uncontrollably for like 3 hours. They were like, did that just happen? Because it wasn't just one, like 7 different record labels called them. And they went with Zoo, the one that was going to pay them the very least amount of money, so they could have the most control with
Most
them.
control, yep.
That was purposeful from the 6th practice the band ever had. It was purposeful to always do things the way they wanted, or yet the endeavor would not be worth it. It was either my way or the highway, I guess, would be
I said this about Zeppelin as being one of the fundamentals of their uniqueness as well, and this also holds true for Tool. Tool does what the fuck Tool wants to do. It may seem it may seem off the beaten path, but they've probably they've probably beaten their own path a little bit ahead of you. So,
well, I really think it's off the beaten path. It's going through rough jungle because there was no advertising. There was no. Yeah. I mean, Zeppelin advertised. I mean, Sabbath advertised. I mean, their faces were planted everywhere. You couldn't hardly get a damn poster with their face on it or nothing. I mean, you couldn't hardly know what they're doing. You couldn't find lyrics till 2019.
Yeah.
You'd have to, so it's almost unexplainable. It's almost like aliens are walking around everywhere, but nobody else can see them, like Roddy Piper in that damn movie with the glasses on. You're trying to explain this to people. In fact, I had a good analogy when to creators when they first started reacting to Tool. I was like, well, now you know who Tool is. 3 aliens and an octopus walk out on the stage, and then there was Tool. Shout out to Paul Diamore, though. He's still Tool. Without Paul, there wouldn't be Swamp Song and that Rip and Sober. And yeah, Paul was just a little...
He was a big part of their evolution.
To go a little faster. Hey, guys, are you idiots? Let's make some money, man. Hell with the damn... whatever. So, yeah, much love, everybody. 45 minutes. Yeah, it is Danny Carey, though.
Yeah, it's a fascinating 45, so...
I imagine there's probably a lot of you here that aren't usually here. I am usually like this, just no one ever listens because, we're not reacting to. So this is new for me. So if I'm like a kid in a candy store, I am. It's true. So, much love. Open your third eye. And the pain is all eternal, and we're not, I mean, yeah, we're not illusions or whatever the hell it says. All right. Yeah, I know. I get it, Link. Oh, hell, that's right. Damn it, you done moved. Yeah. I mean, I could just shut up. Or I could just take over. Get me out of my face. Later, y'all. Damn it, I didn't hit stop right. Oh, yeah, support us. Links, description, money, whatever.
Give us your
Send us
money,
a
is what we're
flag.
saying.
Send us some tickets to go see Danny Carey again.